Okay, so Sprint 5 really pretty much concluded the majority of our project. Um, so a lot of the work that I did was primarily updating libraries, remediating vulnerabilities. The sprint adding just some helper scripts and improving PRs and kind of going through our backlog and stories. Um, so for this sprint, I was planning really just to demonstrate kind of how far we've come and walk through everything. Go ahead and run this. So this is one of the scripts I set up. It basically helps us, quickly select what backend we're going to run. So either in memory, DuckDB, or MongoDB. So we'll say Mongo Sun. It's going to check to see if the Docker container is running. And then it will also start the application. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Now we have our localhost running the application. Just set you to our home screen. Generate demo sessions. All right. So again, just to really pull everything in and kind of highlight just really what we created this semester. We'll kind of recap the problem that we set out to solve, and just from personal work experience in different legal settings and stuff. We feel pretty confident to say that healthcare and legal organizations need to anonymize PII in large data sets. Manual redaction is error-prone, slow, and does not scale. This needs automated detection. This needs automated detection, multiple anonymization strategies, audit trails, and role-based access control. What helped birth this idea was I was working on a project for a court system for the state of Georgia. Essentially, we're migrating data. We're creating a centralized case management system, but we're migrating data in from all the different various courts, and we're also working with contractors, and we need to be making sure that as we're bringing data in, we're able to track when it's being redacted and that we can attest to this. So what we built is Anonymous Studio as a production-ready PII anonymization platform built with TAPI, Presidio, and OpenFGA. It handles real-time text analysis, batch processing of large data sets, fine-grained authorization, and maintains complete audit trails. Again, we'll walk through the system architecture. Front end is a TAPI GUI plus core, so that brings with it a reactive user interface, background job orchestration, which is what really the TAPI framework is super helpful with versus having to use like Flask and Celery and stuff. PII detection, we're using Microsoft Presidio. That's industry standard, open source, and really awesome. Authorization, we're using OpenFGA for fine-grained relationship-based capabilities. Storage, we have multi-backend configs. Users can set up in-memory. It can run DuckDB for quick analytics, and also the full, I would say the full enterprise version running in production would be using MongoDB backend. For infrastructure, we have Docker Compose for auth and monitoring services. Again, key features: real-time PII detection and anonymization, batch processing with progress tracking, role-based access control. For now, we have here admin, compliance officer, developer, and researcher. Pipeline management with Kanban boards, complete audit logging, notification system with user preferences. Okay, so we will walk through this. Here, we'll start here at the Analyze Text page. This would be the real-time PII detection. Here we have some sample text with PII. We'll come over here and click our detect, and we'll have it set on replace. So we have the replace. We can also set it to redact. So that would be redact. I apologize. Here's replace. It's going to replace it with basically a variable label. We have mask. Hash. Uses a SHA-256 with a salt to the same PII, always produces the same hash. This is neat because it enables cross-record correlation without exposing the original data. So this is a really important concept, and data lineage is fairly complex. So I won't spend too much time there, but it's it would be something that we could continue to build off of too. We'll go to our batch job processing. For large data sets, we have background job processing with progress tracking. We can upload the CSV. Let's just do a test one like that. So here we actually get a file integrity hash. We also have the ability to set how we want to de-anonymize the data. We have these advanced options here. This allows us to actually decide on the chunk size that we want to use. So we'll just go all with the basic stuff. We do have some neat integrations for extremely large data sets, but I don't think that would be necessary here. Let's see. Run job. Okay. See, it since the amount of rows. I should see if we're done here. Okay, pull this over into view, but see here, it output the anonymized batch job that ran. It is this is looks kind of corrupted here, but we have the confidence score, the type, the rationale, which is really cool. I think it helps. In the real world, it would be important to be able to have a threshold of acceptance and that type. So, yeah, that is the exported. Again, I showed the auth page last week, so I won't go back into that. But let's see. Might be able to show another. It goes there. Let's see if it is affecting the cards here. Okay, yeah. So you see that the persona that you select also is now wired to be able to determine which cards you see. So, future nice to have really would be for if you were doing like a multi-tenant SaaS app, would be for each user to have the ability to only see theirs or to also see theirs in their teams, or maybe theirs in their departments or whatever. But that's the auth stuff. I can re-enter it as admin. So this feature here with the Kanban tracking, this is something that I feel like is very useful. Mainly because this was something I had to wire like separate systems to do. So I would, in my current role, I was having to basically update Trello like this as the data moved from the initial SFTP endpoint, which would be like the DevOps team. Then security would need to basically run certain scans on it, get a report, and then transfer that to the CTO. All of that hopefully can be it can get lost in the shuffle, especially when it would be handed off ultimately to like a business analyst at the end. It's not necessarily people that are ever working on data, and moving PII around it can be sketchy. So we'll say so here now we have test card. We can edit these cards, we can move the cards. We could attest to the cards. Oh, I will need to, yeah. So there's a version of this application that actually requires authentication via Auth0. just for ease of use with the team, we have found it, the role switcher to be helpful. But yeah, we can move it forward. We can move this one backwards. Pretty basic there. Let's see where. So this is the audit log. This is really neat. Let's see if we have any primarily info. Okay, so cards got deleted, and consider that a warning severity. Do we have any criticals? Probably not. Yeah, so this would be the start to an integration of a notification system for user preferences. You can toggle on email notifications. You can also show in-app notifications or turn those off. This was PR 120. It adds scheduler improvements, centralized notification. Looks really nice. This was not my work, but it looks good. And yeah, just to touch on some other work that's a little bit harder to demo. We have 82 passing tests, integration tests covering full workflows. In Sprint 5, I added OpenFGA seed validation test. And Sprint 5, I extended auth-z test for auto report export denial scenarios. I fixed authorization bypass and the auto export handler, aligned OpenFGA model with runtime enforcement. So now it blocks not just what you see from the front end perspective, but physically what the back end is actually able to do. So instead of having any sort of weird, wonky client side, certain things people can see only controlled by front end code and logic. We really want that to be always back end for security. So added that in. Added regression tests for security gaps and updated dependencies for vulnerability fixes. Sprint 5 truly was about production readiness. We're closing security gaps, ensuring our auth model matches actual enforcement, and adding comprehensive regression tests so that we don't have unexpected downstream impact. Performance-wise, Anonymous Studio performance tests show that it can handle 300,000 plus row data sets. We have a Dask integration that allows us to leverage parallel processing for large data sets. MongoDB, we're able to use batching for memory efficiency, and the configurable chunk sizes is also a neat performance enhancement. The production architecture right now is Docker Compose stacks for OpenFGA, Postgres QL, which has a PostgreSQL background, Auth0 proxy with Redis sessions, and it's wired with Prometheus for Grafana monitoring. We have a multi-backend storage, so the memory for development is really helpful in memory storage, but for production instances, so you can run it as web app, all client side with DB, or MongoDB for truly enterprise production setup. We have Auth0 integration is ready with JWT validation and Prometheus metrics for observability. Personally, this sprint, my contribution summary would be security hardening, system integration, so merging in, we had merge conflict with PR for the notification system improvements I had to sort out, integrated settings for UI, and user notification preferences. Again, these were not my work, but did help sort out the pipelines and merge conflicts. Extended our tests for quality assurance, focusing on Auth-Z with deny unauthenticated tests. Added test seeds, OpenFGA seeds for model validation. Updated some Dependabot PRs and documented the updates regarding OpenFGA in our README. All that to say, this is Sprint 5. Our board looks like it's pretty much done. There's a few things that I personally had in review that I need to move to done. I just was waiting on a couple of the Dependabot things to also make sure I wasn't going to break it all before this demo. And so yeah, we're about there. Always there's things we could add and nice to haves, but as far as doing what we set out to do, I would say it does that and more. Thank you.